Now we're going to conditionally show and hide the navigation links. So if the user is logged in, we want to show this. We want to show the username and a couple of options here, as well as the logout option. But if user is not logged in, then we want to show the login and register. Right. So let's go to navigation. Let's go to nav, components, nav, go to headers, and here to determine whether user is logged in or not, we can access the user from Redux state. We can use another hook from React Redux, and that is called use selector. So we can bring that use selector. So just like use dispatch, we can use selector hook. So use dispatch we use whenever we want to dispatch some data to the state, Redux state, so that we could update the Redux state. For example, here we have dispatched the type and payload, and this will make the user null. So whatever user was there on sign out, user will be null. So that's how we update the state using dispatch. Now similar to that, we can use selector, but instead of updating the state, we want to get the data from the state. So for example, we have user in the state, we want to get that, and for that we can use the use selector hook. So let's give that a try. So right here, let's try let state, we can put that in a variable state, that's use selector. Let's use that hook, and this hook takes a function as an argument. So we're going to give it a function argument, and we can write arrow function here, nice and easy. So this is a function. From this function we want to grab the state. So state will return state. All right, so with this we have the Redux state available here in this variable, and you can even have a look at it just to give it a try. Let's come to this link and just use JSON stringify, just so that we can see what we have. JSON stringify user, sorry, not user, state. Okay, so let's see what we have in the state. Make sure you're not logged in. If you are logged in, you might see a string of user with token and so on. But if you're not logged in, you can see currently our state has user and the value is null. Okay, so that way you can see we can easily access the data from the Redux state. Now to make things even more simple, we can instead of getting the entire state, for example, you want to grab only user from the state, right? Because later on we might have more values in the state. At the moment we have only user, but later we might have products, we might have some more information. So if you want to get only the data you want, you can destructure as well. So instead of state, let's say user. All right, let me quickly take you to the reducers index. You can see at the moment we have only user, but later we might add more. So we can destructure user like that. Destructure user from state, and if you want to destructure, you want to spread this out. So put it in a parenthesis, object, and then using the 3 dots spread operator, you can spread out the state. So whatever values you have in the state, they will be spread out, and from that you just want to pick the user. So this way also you can access the user from the state. So with that, we can give that a try. Instead of state, let's say user, and you can see user has the value of null at the moment. All right, so this way you can see how easy it is to access the data from the Redux store using use selector hook. Now that we have user, we can conditionally show and hide the links. For example, if we don't have user, we want to show the login and register, right? So let me cut this out, cut, and let's write here if no user, and using the AND operator, paste whatever you just cut. So if we don't have user, we want to show register link. Same here, let's cut. If no user, then we want to show the login as well. Now this one we want to show only if we have user. So we have the logout link, later we have the link for dashboard and so on. So this drop down we want to show only if we have the logged in user. So let's cut and write here if user, and then we want to show this drop down. Alright, so you can easily conditionally render the links based on the user we have in the state. Okay, so here you can see previously we had the drop down. At the moment you can't see the drop down, you can see only login and register because we don't have the logged in user. So let me quickly remove that as well. The previous JSON stringify. Okay, now you can see login and register, but if you log in, you can see login and register are not there, and we have only the drop down with logout. All right, perfect. So let's put it in a towards the right end. So for this drop down we can use a class name float right. That's a Bootstrap class name, and you can see it's there. Perfect. One more thing we can do, instead of this hard-coded username, we can show the user's name. Now this user doesn't have the username because they log in with email and password. So what we can do is we can just grab their email. For example, here you can see we can grab their email, and maybe we can grab the first part and show that as their name. Later obviously we can add the profile update feature where they can update name and so on, but at the moment we can just use this. Let's do that. Here instead of hard-coded username, let's use curly braces here. So we want to grab the user email from the state. So user.email. First we want to check if we have the user email. So if we have user email, then using the AND operator, user.email, and we want to split the email by the @ character. Split with @. So from the email, once we come to the @, we're going to split that, and once we split, that becomes an array. So for example, name @gmail.com. so we're going to split at this one. So when we split, that becomes this becomes array. So this becomes array, name becomes one item, first item in the array, and then the gmail.com becomes second item. So what we want to do is we want to grab the first item from the array, and to get the first item from the array you use 0, because array count starts from 0, right? So we can do that, split with @, and then from this array grab the first item. So this way we can grab the name from the user's email. So let's have a look. You can see we have the user's name as well. Perfect.